Meanwhile, I must inform our viewers that India has shored up its defences across the land, air and sea domains. The multi-layered air defence network is fully activated. Several frontline warships are deployed and infantry units along the frontier fully stocked and prepared to deal with any contingency. Now, joining us for further clarity as India is on high alert and all eyes on Pakistan's next move. On the broadcast, we have with us Dr. Brahmachalani, Strategic Affairs Expert. Also joining us on NDTV, Foreign Affairs Expert Robinder Sachdev. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time for us. Dr. Chalani, to you first. 9 terror hubs, just one 25-minute video. What does Operation Sindoor tell us about the evolution of India's cross-border strike capabilities since 2016 Uri and 2019 Balakot?
It shows that India's patience is wearing thin. In 2019, India struck one camp. This time, India struck 9 different places in Pakistan, from the north to the southernmost place in Pakistani Punjab. It really goes to show that India is willing to go further if the Pakistani military establishment refuses to end its proxy war by terrorism. No country can be expected to put up with an adversary's undeclared war. The Pakistani military establishment has been waging this proxy war against India since the 1980s. And today, India clearly is signaling that unless this undeclared war stops, India is going to press further. Therefore, it's up to the Pakistani rulers whether they want to live in peace with India or they want to start a low-intensity conflict, because it cannot be just a one-sided low-intensity conflict. This time, India is willing to repay in the same coin. But let's be clear on one important thing: that striking 9 terrorist camps in Pakistan will not end Pakistan's cross-border terrorism. This is only the first salvo fired by India. Operation Sindoor obviously was not one-off strikes by India. This is only the first phase. India is now waiting for Pakistan's response. In response to Pakistan's response, Operation Sindoor will move forward with appropriate and calibrated response.
Right. Mr. Sachdev, France and Germany, meanwhile, have backed us. Japan has urged caution. Bangladesh, we know, is watching very closely, while Pakistan claims that this was an act of war. Take our viewers through how this is being viewed in Washington, in Paris, London, as well as Beijing.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to be with you and with Dr. Chalani. I think, most revealing is the statement by Trump today morning that you guys are playing out, or is there, wherein he says both sides, have hit each other. It's a tit for tat going on, and I'll be happy to help. This is something, I've been pushing and arguing for the past so many days, that our doctrine now, we should position, and especially with the Americans, position and use this term exactly, tit for tat. That is the language, terminology, kind of which Trump understands easily. Right? A score, one-on-one settled kind of a thing. Of course, all world capitals are important, no doubt, France, Germany, etc. But I think in the case of Pakistan right now, 3 capitals for us are probably more important. That is Washington, D.C., Saudi Arabia, and the Arab Emirates. These are the 3 capitals who have maybe the levers and influence to, in a sense, pressurize, arm twist, counsel Pakistan not to respond with a higher level of intensity. Yes, Pakistan will respond in some way. We do understand that. They have to save their own face. And the army and the military have to save their own face, etc. But their response should not be one which kind of, escalates and creates an upward spiral to which India will have to respond very heavily. So back to the world capitals. So the Americans are now understanding that this was a tit for tat. Okay? And I think diplomacy has been communicating to them, should have been, must have been, would have been communicating before the strikes that, yes, we will conduct a tit for tat. It's up to you now, Mr. America, pressurize Pakistan that it should not escalate more, because if it escalates, we are going to come back with a much heavier response,
All
which
right.
will lead to, yes, a much wider war, which in turn will lead to, in a way, the destabilization of Pakistan. Who knows where it could go? It could lead to the breakup of Pakistan aside. It could also lead to nuclear weapons falling into the hands of non-state actors. See, the world capitals sure are with us as friends, fair enough, well-wishers, but they will act with more alacrity if they feel something pinches them.
Right.
The threat of a nuclear, proliferation in this area would worry America, would also worry Saudis, and would also worry the Emirates. So I think these are the three that we are out there playing. One more narrative, I think, which we have developed or must be going on the background, is that this was not merely a terror attack. This was also economic hit on India. At a time, now with respect to America, at a time when the Trump tariffs are forcing American companies to move out of China to other locations, Malaysia, Indonesia, wherever, including India. So some of those American companies who were contemplating to move to India, and remember, they have to do it very quickly because at the pace at which things are moving,
Yes.
the ones who wanted to move to India, maybe they will postpone or not decide if they have to make a quick decision, India or Malaysia. Right now, maybe they'll say, okay, Malaysia. So this was an economic hit on India also.
Right. Let's
And
just delve
thereby,
deeper into Beijing's role meanwhile. Dr. Chelani, is there a possibility that Beijing could use this moment to draw closer to Pakistan militarily? Or would it actually prefer to keep Islamabad on a tighter leash to avoid any regional instability?
Let's be clear that behind Pakistan's belligerence is China. China is providing cover to Pakistan for a long time, providing cover for Pakistan's export of terrorism. Without China, Pakistan would not do what it's doing against India. The Chinese government has repeatedly blocked UN sanctions against top Pakistani terrorists. And after the latest attack in Pahalgam, China openly, publicly praised Pakistan's counterterrorism efforts, calling Pakistan an all-weather strategic partner and an ironclad friend. This maxim, the enemy's enemy is my friend, is what's creating this axis between China and Pakistan. For China, it's far more cost-effective to prop up Pakistan against India rather than to take on India directly. So they have been using Pakistan for a long, long time. It doesn't matter to China that Chinese nationals are also becoming the target of terrorists in Pakistan. The fact is that Pakistan is bleeding India, which is an adversary of China. And China is doing everything possible to assist Pakistan in continuing to bleed India. In the run-up to the latest, to the Operation Sindoor, China transferred new weapon systems to Pakistan, including air-to-air missile systems. It's possible that yesterday morning, during this Operation Sindoor, Pakistan used these air-to-air missiles sent by China.
Well, Mr. Sachdev, meanwhile, the Iranian foreign minister has just touched down in India right after wrapping up his trip in Islamabad. His visit to India makes him the first from a foreign dignitary post Operation Sindoor. How do you see this visit playing out, and are you optimistic about the outcomes?
well, thank you. Definitely. Quickly, one point more on China before I come to Iran.
Please.
See, another thing is that Pakistan will leverage, even if China did not know in advance about this attack, Pakistan will leverage this attack, this economic hit, and tell China, look here, I have done you a favor. See, even if China and Pakistan have mutual strategic interests, still they play games with each other to show that they're exchanging value. So Pakistan, in addition to, as Dr. Brahmacharya is, very well saying all of those aspects which its relationship is, Pakistan can be, and I would think if I were Pakistan, I would be doing it with respect to China, that look here, China, I've done you a favor by giving the economic hit to India. So give me some more favors, that aside. Now, as to Iran, the Iranian trip is interesting, actually. The Iranian foreign minister went to Islamabad and then went back to Iran and then is coming to India. I mean, this was a visit, of course, I think, pre-scheduled. But in order to hyphenate that, he went to Pakistan and has then come to India. Apparently, that was the routing, or that was the plan made out. He's coming to India. Now, Iran is definitely, Iran is a regional player with us. We have old civilization relations with Iran. We have strategic interests with Iran, the Chabar port, and along with the Chabar port, the North-South trade corridor, which takes us into, the various Central Asian countries and Russia. Without access to Iran, we are locked out from Central Asia, or we are locked out in the West, right? Beyond Pakistan, there is nothing in the West we can reach out geographically. So the Iranian relationship for us is, I think, definitely very important. At the same time, of course, Iran is Pakistan's neighbor, and there are issues out there. Iran has issues regarding Iran's Balochistan with Pakistan. Now, that's where actually Pakistan is playing a bit, right? Pakistan is offering access to, let's say, forces inimical to Iran, access through its border into South Balochistan of Iran. So Pakistan is playing some games out there with respect to Iran, trying to cozy up to the Western powers, and again giving them favors. Pakistan is used to this kind of making deals and pathways, like in Afghanistan. So similarly, partly Pakistan is positioning itself with respect to the West and Iran in that sense. Back to Iran.
Keeping a close eye on all the key developments, sir, but we'll wait and watch how India actually capitalizes on this moral and strategic momentum, diplomatically, bilaterally, and multilaterally. That remains to be seen. But gentlemen, as always, thank you so much for making time for us and joining us on NDTV.